Warga Malaysia dibuat syok dengan lonjakan harga BBM yang terjadi sekarang ini. Selama bertahun-tahun, masyarakat Malaysia memang terbiasa dengan harga BBM yang relatif murah berkat kebijakan subsidi pemerintah. Namun, kondisi sekarang berubah drastis. Baik BBM bersubsidi maupun non-subsidi mengalami kenaikan yang cukup signifikan, membuat banyak warga kaget dan mulai merasakan tekanan ekonomi. Perubahan ini terasa mendadak bagi masyarakat yang sebelumnya jarang menghadapi lonjakan harga energi setinggi ini.
Baik aku jual je lah. Daripada hadap harga diesel macam ni.
Hujung Februari, RM3.04. Sekarang, RM5.52. Naik 82%. 37%, 82%. Dunia naik 37%, kita naik lebih 2 kali ganda.
Sebentar lagi juga harga-harga makanan di Malaysia ini juga akan naik pastinya. Kenapa? Karena logistik cost-nya juga otomatis akan terganggu ya.
That's why the problem never goes away. It just gets harder to deal with each time. And now the war with Iran has already pushed up fuel prices. Will Indonesia finally start dealing with the subsidy problem, or does the same cycle play out again?
Geng, yang ini beratus semua nak isi diesel ni, geng. Panjang. Diesel RM8. 1 liter. Weh, murah.
Dan aku baru tahu tu. Itulah aku macam, oh begini rupanya. Inilah pengalaman aku isi minyak di Indonesia.
You won't believe how gas stations work in Indonesia. I was about to run out of gas and I kept looking for a gas station, but I couldn't find one anywhere. But then I noticed someone getting gas and it's just a cart on the side of the road.
So on the side of the road you'll see a lot of kind of glass bottles with fuel in them.
Why is there no fuel crisis in Indonesia? Across Asia, countries are suddenly struggling with fuel prices. Costs are jumping and governments are worried. But in Indonesia, prices haven't changed at all. There's no panic buying, there's no long lines, and people don't seem to be worried.
Halo Sobat Media Mosa, banyak pengamat luar negeri sebelumnya memprediksi Indonesia akan mengalami nasib yang sama seperti negara Asia Tenggara lainnya, terutama Malaysia, yang menghadapi lonjakan harga bahan bakar. Namun kenyataannya justru berbanding terbalik. Indonesia tetap stabil, bahkan harga BBM masih tergolong terjangkau. Hal ini membuat banyak warga asing dan turis yang datang ke Indonesia merasa terkejut. Mereka tidak hanya menemukan harga yang lebih murah, tetapi juga sistem distribusi BBM yang sangat mudah dijangkau, bahkan hingga ke pelosok desa.
Why is there no fuel crisis in Indonesia? Across Asia, countries are suddenly struggling with fuel prices. Costs are jumping and governments are worried. But in Indonesia, prices haven't changed at all. There's no panic buying, there's no long lines, and people don't seem to be worried. So why is there a crisis everywhere else, but not here? Indonesia imports a huge amount of refined fuel and LPG, and just like other countries, the cost of fuel is going up. So if the costs are rising here too, why aren't people feeling it? It's because the government doesn't let prices move. It holds them down and pays the difference through subsidies. That sounds great for consumers, right? But that creates a bigger problem. Over time, everything starts to depend on cheap fuel, which makes it harder to raise prices later. Those subsidies cost tens of billions of dollars each year and have been for decades. And they're one of the biggest expenses on the state budget. So how did Indonesia even get stuck with this subsidy thing? Well, back in the 1970s, Indonesia was an oil exporter and even a member of OPEC. Oil revenues were booming and the government kept fuel prices cheap for the people. But over time, something changed. Cheap fuel stopped being a policy and became something that people were entitled to. And once that happens, it's very hard to take something like that away. Then the 1998 economic crisis came. Fuel prices jumped and people took to the streets. That helped bring down Suharto. So every leader since then learned the same lesson. Raise fuel prices too much and you risk losing control. So what do presidents do instead? They push the problem down the road. But this becomes a trap. The longer the prices are held down, the harder it becomes to change without a public backlash. But avoiding that comes with its own cost. It drains the state budget and takes money away from infrastructure, healthcare, and other long-term investments. That leads to a tough choice. Raise prices now and ease pressure on the budget, but risk backlash and slow the economy in the short term, or hold prices down to avoid disruption and keep growth steady, but continue draining the budget. No president wants to slow down the economy, even temporarily, especially now, with Prabowo promising the highest growth in decades. So instead, price increases get pushed down the road. Economists and policymakers recommend raising prices gradually and making subsidies much more targeted. The government started doing some of that under Jokowi, but it never really stuck throughout his term, and that's why the problem never goes away. It just gets harder to deal with each time. And now the war with Iran has already pushed up fuel prices. Will Indonesia finally start dealing with the subsidy problem, or does the same cycle play out again?
Warga Malaysia dibuat syok dengan lonjakan harga BBM yang terjadi sekarang ini. Kenaikan ini dipicu oleh harga minyak dunia yang melonjak tajam akibat konflik geopolitik, terutama perang yang melibatkan Iran, Israel, dan campur tangan Amerika Serikat. Situasi global tersebut langsung berdampak pada biaya energi di banyak negara, termasuk Malaysia yang selama ini dikenal cukup stabil dalam menjaga harga bahan bakar melalui subsidi. Selama bertahun-tahun, masyarakat Malaysia memang terbiasa dengan harga BBM yang relatif murah berkat kebijakan subsidi pemerintah. Namun, kondisi sekarang berubah drastis. Baik BBM bersubsidi maupun non-subsidi mengalami kenaikan yang cukup signifikan, membuat banyak warga kaget dan mulai merasakan tekanan ekonomi. Perubahan ini terasa mendadak bagi masyarakat yang sebelumnya jarang menghadapi lonjakan harga energi setinggi ini.
Baik aku jual je lah. Daripada hadap harga diesel macam ni.
Pernah bayangkan diesel boleh naik sampai lebih RM5? Dah gila kah? Kerajaan selalu kata minyak naik sebab trend global. Kita tengok data. Harga minyak dunia 28 Februari USD 72 setok. 25 Mac USD 99, naik 37%. Bagaimana pula dengan diesel Malaysia? Hujung Februari RM3.04. Sekarang RM5.52. Naik 82%. 37%, 82%. Dunia naik 37%, kita naik lebih 2 kali ganda. Ni ikut pasaran atau tumpang naik atas nama pasaran. Dan bukan sikit, dalam sebulan naik RM2.40. Sebulan 82%. Gaji ada naik macam ni. Bila diesel naik RM2.40, apa jadi? Jangan fikir saya tak bawa kereta diesel, tak ada kesan. Lori naik, kos hantar naik, kos peniaga kecil naik. Akhirnya, semua harga naik. Siapa yang kena? Kita, rakyat yang kena.
Hai, aku adalah orang Surabaya, Indonesia yang tinggal di Malaysia. Jadi guys, di Malaysia itu sekarang harga bensin atau minyak tuh udah naik ya. Kalau sebelum perang si Mimi Rika dan si Wiwil ini ya, sebelum perang, untuk warga asing seperti saya, itu kalau membeli bensin RON 95 itu per liternya itu RM2.60. Tapi sekarang guys, gara-gara si perang-perangan ini ya, RM3.80. Itu sudah berlanjut beberapa hari ke belakang. Kita udah pakai harga baru ya. Ya semoga perang ini segera berakhir, karena dampaknya tuh kita semua gitu. Dan sebentar lagi juga harga-harga makanan di Malaysia ini juga akan naik pastinya. Kenapa? Karena logistik cost-nya juga otomatis akan terganggu ya. Ya semoga kita doakan semuanya baik-baik aja, back to normal, sehingga kita bisa berkehidupan dengan lancar.
Oil prices are exploding and people are fighting for oil everywhere. The Philippines has even issued an energy emergency. So then why is Indonesia so relaxed? Well, most of these countries get 70 to 90% of their oil through the Strait. Indonesia, only 20%. When the Strait gets volatile, the shock is way smaller here. But what do you think? How long can this last?
Jadi begini, aku kan sering bolak-balik dari Indonesia ke Malaysia. Jadi satu hari aku mau cerita nih pengalaman aku untuk isi minyak di Indonesia. Jadi begini, waktu aku isi minyak ke Indonesia, isi minyak mobil ya, kereta, car. Kalau di Indonesia itu mobil, kalau di Malaysia itu kereta lah. Jadi aku mau isi minyak. Jadi aku pun pergi ke stesen minyak tempatan lah, lokal. Jadi aku pun terheran kok, ya ramai, mungkin sebabkan ramai orangnya kan. Jadi aku pun okey isilah minyak. Jadi dengan diorang tak pakai 95 macam kita. Aku tak ingat 9 berapa. 9 berapa nanti tolong yang komen lah. Tak silap kita Malaysia pakai 95 dengan harga RM2.05. Tu untuk subsidi lah. Jadi kalau di Indonesia itu ada juga stesen minyak yang lain, tapi yang paling ramai tu lokal, tempatan punya. Kalau kita kan banyak Petronas, Caltex, Shell semua. Jadi harganya semua sama, RM2.05. Tapi kalau di Indonesia, kalau di tempatan itu harganya beza. Kalau di yang lain-lain punya tempat pun beza harga dia, sama dengan Thailand. Dan aku baru tahu tu. Itulah aku macam, oh begini rupanya. Inilah pengalaman aku isi minyak di Indonesia. Kan kalau di Thailand pun sama. Yang beza-beza harga minyaknya tak sama.
Geng, yang ini beratus semua nak isi diesel ni, geng. Panjang.
Asal isi diesel kena beratus tak cukup ke? Dia subsidi bang, yang murah. Oh, stesen minyak ni tak banyak Stesen minyak dia tak banyak. Satu lagi, kalaupun ada di sini diesel, tempat lain belum tentu ada. Berapa harga 1 liter? 6,800. 6,800? Sampai 2 lebih. RM8 ke RM9 macam tu lah. RM8. Ui, diesel RM8?
Diesel RM8. 1 liter. Weh, murah.
Kalau yang tak subsidi dia RM14,400.
RM1,000 berapa?
2 kali ganda lebih.
2 kali ganda?
2,5 kali ganda.
Weh, patut agak beratus.
Di berbagai negara, kenaikan harga BBM menjadi beban besar bagi masyarakat. Harga yang melonjak membuat mobilitas terbatas dan biaya hidup meningkat. Namun di Indonesia, fenomena yang terjadi justru berbeda. Selain tersedia di SPBU, BBM juga bisa ditemukan di warung-warung kecil di daerah terpencil dengan harga yang masih relatif terjangkau. Kemudahan akses ini menjadi nilai tambah yang jarang ditemukan di negara lain. Para turis asing pun merasa terbantu karena tidak kesulitan mencari bahan bakar, bahkan saat berada jauh dari pusat kota. Hal ini menciptakan pengalaman yang unik sekaligus memperkuat citra Indonesia sebagai negara yang ramah bagi mobilitas masyarakat dan wisatawan.
Good morning everyone, I'm here with Mum and Nopal up the back way off the Ubud, but first of all we need to get some petrol, so I thought I would tell you about the petrol situation here in Indonesia. Now, petrol comes either as subsidized petrol or unsubsidized petrol. If you get it subsidized, you get this QR code which you register to your vehicle and you can get this subsidized petrol program, which is running out pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. But if not, you do have to get the fully unsubsidized petrol. And this is only at the petrol stations, not at the little, I guess, petrol warungs that you may see around where you can just get petrol in a bottle or on a pump. Only at the petrol stations. Petrol cost here is $12,000 rupiah for the fully subsidized, unsubsidized petrol, and then it's 10,000 rupiah for the subsidized. I think I said that right. Anyway, any questions, Mum?
No, but I can speak Indonesian.
What do you want to say?
Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. See you soon.
I'm in Papa in Indonesia. I'm in such a small town that's in a really remote area and it's surrounded by mountains all the way around, which makes it incredibly hard for any cars or trucks or anything to get in. So the whole town supplies everything directly from air cargo. And I'm at a gas station here and you're probably thinking, well, how do they get the gas here? So they fly in these barrels full of gas. And I guess this is like the remains of all the gas that's being filled up here. I don't particularly trust the look of these barrels. They're kind of a little bit beaten. Where there's a will, there's a way. Is that what they say?
You won't believe how gas stations work in Indonesia. I was about to run out of gas and I kept looking for a gas station, but I couldn't find one anywhere. But then I noticed someone getting gas and it's just a cart on the side of the road. There's no station. There's 2 fuel grades, light and max. I have no idea what the octane is. There's no meter that says the price of the gas. You just use these stickers on the side of this tube. The guy filled it up really full. And then afterwards he uses this crank to refill the tube with the gas. It's blue-green, which I never saw before. It didn't seem that safe to me that they kept all this gas just parked right next to the road.
So this is how you fill up fuel here in Indonesia, everybody. Hello, can I get some petrol? So on the side of the road you'll see a lot of kind of glass bottles with fuel in them, and they're usually like between 10 to 15,000 rupiah. So I don't know how much this is, but you have these ones and you also have kind of small. Hello, yes, petrol please. Thank you very much. So I get two. Oh, I thought he was going to use the funnel over there, but he's just so skilled. Oh, very good. And it just gets done like this. So this is like 1 liter. And yeah, you obviously got to have them in the glass bottles, or else it's going to erode the plastic ones. Because petrol is very erosive. But yeah, they sell all kinds of things like little hats. It's like there's literally so many on the side of the road. Like every 500 meters, 200 meters. But it should be around like 10 to 15 each. Terima kasih. Okay. Terima kasih. Thank you. Yeah. So we got 22 back. So they are 13,000 rupiah each, which is $1.30 Australian, around 90 cents per bottle there. So now we're ready, fueled up for the adventure. Now we are. I'm here in the middle of the jungle and my tank is empty. Here we are. Hello. I can use the petrol, the benzene. Yeah. Yeah, that's the petrol. I mean the benzene. Hi, sir. Oh, look at there. 50,000. 50,000. Hi. What's your name? Budi. Okay, nice to meet you. Where are you from? From Hungary. Oh, look at that petramine. And this is the level of the benzene. And as you can see, it's full. So how much? 35. 35? 35. Yeah. Hi. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye. And again, thanks for the Cinci Cycle for the scooter. It's full and we can continue our journey. Let's go.
Hey, if you ever need petrol in Bali and you can't get to the big petrol stations or there's a big line at the petrol station, you can get these smaller petrol stations like this one here, which is in a little warung shop like this. And the way they work is you just tell them how much you want. If you want 10,000, they start up here and fill it up to there. And then down to 20,000 and down to 30,000. I just got 25,000. So it started here, came down to 25,000. And it's super simple. So if you need petrol, there you go. Now you know. See you soon.
Stabilnya harga dan luasnya distribusi BBM di Indonesia akhirnya mengubah pandangan dunia. Negara yang sebelumnya diragukan, kini justru menjadi sorotan karena mampu bertahan di tengah krisis energi global. Ketika banyak negara menghadapi tekanan besar akibat kenaikan harga bahan bakar, Indonesia menunjukkan ketahanan yang kuat. Kombinasi antara kebijakan pemerintah, pengelolaan sumber daya dan sistem distribusi yang menjangkau hingga ke pelosok menjadi kunci utama. Inilah yang membuat Indonesia tetap kokoh, bahkan di saat sebagian dunia sedang berjuang menghadapi krisis energi.